and you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am your host, Renessa Ortiz, and it is the 2nd of July 2026. We have crossed the half mark of the year, and we're currently into the second half of the year. I'm joined in studio by my co-host, Alex Brown. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning to you too, Renessa, and how are you?
I am good. How are you?
It's good to know. I'm alive and thankful. Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the morning show.
Yes, welcome to the morning show to those of you joining us on YouTube, Facebook, AMPLIA, Flow, and Digicel. Thank you for making Tobago Updates your #1 station. Before we get any further into the programming this morning, we head on over to news in 90 seconds. Opposition Senator Melanie Roberts Rajman is mourning the loss of her cousin Nisha Roberts, who was murdered yesterday inside her own home. Breaking her silence in an emotional public statement, Senator Rajman described Nisha as a good, pleasant, and deeply decent woman who did not deserve to die like that. Expressing profound grief, the senator highlighted the vulnerability of women to violent crime, questioning what proactive measures must be taken to ensure greater protection for women and teaching men better self-control. In security updates, the Tobago Division hosted an employee appreciation ceremony at the Scarborough Police Station as part of its Health and Fitness Fortnight initiative. 17 officers were formally recognized for their outstanding dedication, commitment, and exemplary service. Senior Superintendent Rodel Kirk delivered the feature address, commending the recipients for maintaining a high standard of professionalism. And finally, the Division of Youth Empowerment and Sport has officially opened applications for the Youth Development Fund. The initiative provides crucial financial assistance to eligible Tobagonian students aged 16 to 35 who are pursuing higher education outside of Tobago. To qualify for the academic grant, applicants must provide proof of residency, an official enrollment or acceptance letter from an accredited institution, and maintain a grade point average of 3.0 or above. Applications can be submitted online or at the Division's office on Montessori Drive. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast. Alex, any comments on the news in 90 this morning?
Let's try to think about the good news. So we've had the police service celebrating Health and Fitness Fortnight. I think that's one of the things that we should celebrate. There was a time when some of my family members and I would sit and just try to look at the number of police officers who appeared obese, who appeared unfit, and it's like, you feel you could shoot, let me slap him around. Just making fun of it. But I think the thrust especially now that we're seeing an increase in the number of non-communicable diseases, the lifestyle diseases in Tobago. I think that that's a good thing, not just for the ability to run after people, but just for the well-being of our police officers. I think that was a good initiative, and I certainly hope that they keep it up. I think the Division of Youth Empowerment and Sports initiative to support those of our young people who are pursuing tertiary education, it's always a good thing. Tertiary education is not cheap by any means. And so I think that initiative is really a good one that we should continue to have, and I'm certainly hoping that people will make good use of it, and of course will in return come back and contribute to the development of the island.
Yes, because we always talk about that concept of brain drain. You give the opportunity to go and pursue higher education, and then that education does not come back into the economy for advancement, for us to do what we need to do here on the island of Tobago. We're also going to head straight to our World Cup update with Marcus. Good morning, Marcus.
Let's see. Good morning, guys. You can hear me clearly, right?
Hearing you clearly.
Fantastic. Let me say good morning to you guys and good morning to viewers of Tobago Updates Television. It's yet another day for World Cup football. I got some good sleep last night, I must say. Although the games yesterday were very exciting and went later as well. Match day 21, we saw 10 goals from 3 exciting matches. And the day started off with England taking on Congo. And a number of persons I know supporting the African nation.
Opposition Senator Melanie Roberts Rajman is mourning the loss of her cousin Nisha Roberts, who was murdered yesterday inside her own home. Breaking her silence in an emotional public statement, Senator Rajman described Nisha as a good, pleasant, and deeply decent woman who did not deserve to die like that. Expressing profound grief, the senator highlighted the vulnerability of women to violent crime, questioning what proactive measures must be taken to ensure greater protection for women and teaching men better self-control. In security updates, the Tobago Division hosted an employee appreciation ceremony at the Scarborough Police Station as part of its Health and Fitness Fortnight initiative. 17 officers were formally recognized for their outstanding dedication, commitment, and exemplary service. Senior Superintendent Rodel Kirk delivered the feature address, commending the recipients for maintaining a high standard of professionalism. And finally, the Division of Youth Empowerment and Sport has officially opened applications for the Youth Development Fund. The initiative provides crucial financial assistance to eligible Tobagonian students aged 16 to 35 who are pursuing higher education outside of Tobago. To qualify for the academic grant, applicants must provide proof of residency, an official enrollment, or acceptance letter from an accredited institution, and maintain a grade point average of 3.0 or above. Applications can be submitted online or at the Division's office on Montessori Drive. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast. Here's we're heading straight to Marcus with our World Cup updates. Marcus, welcome to you. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys again, and of course, good morning to viewers of Tobago Updates Television. Never a dull day in the world of television, right? And guys, of course, yesterday, match day 21, and of course, 81 matches completed thus far. Yes, an exciting World Cup. 10 goals scored yesterday, 10 goals in 3 exciting matches. I can tell you, England versus Congo started the day very exciting, and of course, all those who are supporting the African nations, Congo started brightly, scored in the 7th minute, but were undone late in the game by none other than Sir Harry Kane. Harry Kane showed up yesterday and showed his brilliance, showed that he is one of the best footballers in the world in scoring a double in 9 minutes. An outstanding game by the Congolese, but they just couldn't hold on. And of course, England, they are now in the round of 16, but it's not going to be easy for them. Their matchup in the round of 16 going to be against Mexico, the unbeaten Mexicans, and that game is going to be played at the Azteca. And Mexico have played all their matches there and yet to concede a goal and are yet to be defeated. I'm looking forward to that match on Sunday. It starts at 8 p.m. and of course, we are supporting the CONCACAF nation, and it's always good to see Mexicans, and in terms of their support, it's loud and it's very exciting. So looking forward to that match. Yesterday's other match, we saw Belgium versus Senegal, yet another African nation, and Senegal had a 2-0 lead, 2 goals to 0. They were leading up until the 85th minute before. I'm not too sure what happened. In fact, I know what happened. The coach of Belgium made 2 important subs. And in fact, when I say important subs, were big subs, because Belgium, and if you know the world of football, you know Kevin De Bruyne and Jeremy Doku, and they were substituted by the coach. Big decision there. And from the time those guys were substituted, something clicked for Belgium, and they came back due level. And then late in the game, a controversial penalty took them over the line and secured a spot in the round of 16. Yet another exciting game there. 5 goals scored in that game, and you really have to feel it for Senegal, leading by 2 goals to 0, looking like they have made their way into the round of 16, but they were undone late in the game by a team that wanted it more, I believe, Belgium. And the last game, US of A took on Bosnia, and despite a red card shown to one of their leading marksmen, Balogun, USA got home 2 goals to 0. I think they're going to feel it more in the next match, in the round of 16 match, where they're going to be taking on Belgium on Monday at 8 p.m. They're going to be missing their main man up in front. I think it's an unfortunate red card, given the it was a situation where it wasn't intentional, but of course it was a bookable offense, and I felt it should have been a yellow card, but he got a red card, and he's going to miss the next match, unfortunately, there. In terms of what's to come today, big matches on today. Spain, they're going to be taking on Austria from 3 p.m. And players to watch out, there's certainly going to be the midfield of Spain with Rodri and Pedri, and then the outstanding talent in Yamal. I'm predicting a 2-1 victory there for Spain, given their individual brilliance. In game number 2 at 7 p.m. today, Portugal, they are taking on Croatia. This is going to be a European battle. The Giants going to take on today, and who knows, this might be the last we see of Luka Modric for Croatia and Cristiano Ronaldo. And for those who are interested in supporting the team, you need to see this match of these two legends. I'm also predicting a 2-1 victory for Portugal today at 7 p.m. Some may say it's biased because I support Portugal, but again, Portugal with Bruno Fernandes and Felix and those guys, I think they have the individual talent to take them over the line. Final match on today, Switzerland taking on Algeria, yet another African nation in the mix. Later on today, they qualified as one of the 8 best third place teams, and we are looking forward to seeing what they can do today against Switzerland. It's going to be a difficult match, but I'm going to give Switzerland the edge. Yet another 2-1 victory there. So far, the round of 16, it's taking shape. Canada versus Morocco, Paraguay versus France, USA versus Belgium, Brazil versus Norway. Don't want to miss that match. Mexico versus England. Those are the matchups so far for the round of 16. Thus far, Sir Harry Kane, Romelu Lukaku, Erling Haaland, Mbappe, can Ronaldo, of course, step up today to the plate to see his team, Portugal, into the round of 16.
Marcus, I just want to ask, is it that we're beginning to see the exit of all African nations? It's a little bit worrisome that we're seeing the
well,
African
thus far
nations.
We have Morocco. Morocco, they're going to be playing against Canada in the round of 16. And they went all the way to the semi-finals in the last World Cup, and they have been playing good football. And the last game they played, they came back late in the game, dramatic scenes, and won the game on penalties. So I'm expecting that they can go as deep as possible. But so far, Senegal and then the other African nations, 9 out of 10 would have gotten into the round of 32. So far, only 1 have secured a spot in the round of 16. Who knows? Algeria may be another one today to beat Switzerland. You never know what can happen in the world of football, yeah?
Let's look and see. Thank you for sharing it with us, Marcus. Have a great day.
No problem. Have a good one as well.
Thank you.
Now, viewers, we're heading on to the celebratory segment of our morning. We're on to our birthday shout-outs this morning. First up on the lineup, we have a mother and her firstborn son. We have Lisa Hospitales and Ricardo Solomon. Happy birthday to the both of you. We hope you guys spend today together celebrating, really thanking God for life and giving you the opportunity to just be able to be alive. And we wish you all God's richest blessings upon your new year.
Next on this morning's list is Dr. Kadisha Wilshire Motley. Happy birthday to you, Dr. Motley. We hope that you have a great day. We hope it begins for you a new year full of favor, full of reaching those goals, those targets that you've set. And certainly we hope that today is one that you spend with those you hold dear, doing the things that you love most. And certainly we wish you the blessings from the hand of God. Happy birthday to you.
And last but certainly not least, we have Karen Smith. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you a bright day ahead. I hope you spend it today with those who love, cherish and appreciate you, and wishing you all the best going forward in this new year. Happy birthday to you from us here at the Tobago Updates family. And to those of you who did not make it on our birthday lineup this morning, we want to say happy birthday to you. Ensure that you have a great day today. Be safe and just ensure that you take some time to self-reflect, and wishing you all the best going forward in this new year.
Now, viewers, we're keeping it very, very tight this morning, so we're not going to take a break. We're heading straight into our first interview. We're talking to somebody who's becoming Ernesta, a bit of a regular with us. Probably we'll see him joining us to host one of these morning shows.
Maybe.
We're talking with no other than former Commissioner of Police, former Minister of National Security, Mr. Gary Griffith. Good morning, Mr. Griffith, and welcome to you.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Griffith.
Let's get straight into it, Mr. Griffith. We're talking about detention orders, and I want to quickly ask from the perspective of my lifetime, every government has always said that the police is independent of government and that kind of thing. The way detention orders are being done now, where a minister gives an order, seems to kind of blur that line that would have otherwise demarcated the police doing their job as an independent body from the influences of the government of the day. What's your take on this?
Yeah, sure. Good morning again. So what it is that detention order is given based on the perception that even though the police, they are the persons responsible for the main avenue for law enforcement in this country, the National Security Council has a responsibility towards security of the nation. And they're policy driven. So if there's something that there's a clear and present danger pertaining to terrorism, whatever, it gives the politicians, the National Security Council or cabinet, led by the Prime Minister, who's chair of the National Security Council, that authorization to call for a state of emergency, to have a curfew, to give the minister authorization to have detention orders to take away persons' freedom, because they believe that this will assist in ensuring that the country can be safe, that that might be beyond the control and the authority of the Commissioner of Police. So that is why you have that concept of a PDO. My take on it, however, is that I am very concerned, and persons, unfortunately, because we are so divided in this country by politics based on the PNM or UNC till I die, the persons may automatically support what I'm saying or defend what I'm saying based on how it benefits one side or the other. It shouldn't be that. It should be based on you thinking as a citizen. If yesterday it could be somebody, tomorrow it could be you. I had a perfect example of this in the last administration, where it is that government officials they continue to pressure me to arrest political opponents of the government. I refused. They wanted me to arrest citizens in their homes under a public health regulation because they didn't read the law. I refused. So they then came up with getting a report from a retired special branch officer. He wrote the report, put secret on it, put intelligence report, and that became known by that government as a secret intelligence report. So had the PNM been in government now under PDO, I would have been arrested, and notice for after 5 years, not one name called, not one person arrested, because everything they put in that report were lies. But it was deliberately done to be used as an excuse to pull back the merit list for me not to be appointed as commissioner. But I could have been arrested under a PDO based on intelligence. And that is where my concern is. So this is not about the present minister or the present commissioner. I believe that the PDO, there should be some degree of amendment to ensure that no politician has that sole authority to take away the freedom of others without any due process, any bail, any court hearing. That is the present situation, because the law has that the minister can make this decision based on credible intelligence. Credible intelligence could be anything. It is not saying it is mandatory for the police. Now, in this situation, what has been brought to my attention, because I don't have my inside sources, that it has been done thoroughly through the commissioner, but that is based not on process and law, but based on just the luck of the draw. It shouldn't be that, because, as I said, this minister has the authority that he can get a clerk in the SSA to write an intelligence report, give it to him, and all of a sudden, all the persons on Tobago updates could be arrested for possible treason. It doesn't work that way. The law should be amended that the Commissioner of Police must be the sole authority to provide the investigation, do the reports, do the intelligence, and forward it to the minister for his consideration. And then he can decide. Because people will speak about, well, it's a tribunal. The tribunal is totally irrelevant. The tribunal only seeks about they look after the appeal. If someone appeals the PDO, they will now look at it and they can recommend that it can be overturned or agree with it. It still has to go to the minister for final review. So the minister has sole authority. He can get up this morning and say every single person who was 5'2" and below, I feel that they are a threat to national security. There's nothing stopping it because he has credible intelligence. It must be changed that the Commissioner of Police, being an independent body, be the sole factor to provide that investigation, get the intelligence, and do the report to give to the minister for his final signature.
There's a challenge that appears in my mind. I'm not certain that it's well founded legally. But we saw in the past when there were states of emergency, people were detained for various reasons. And then when that period ended, you saw a number of applications being made to the High Court, and a lot of them found favor, or the court found that the applications had merit, and we found the state paying hundreds of millions of dollars in compensation. Do we run that same risk the way the preventative detention order regulation is now worded? Do we run that same risk, in your opinion, in the future?
Yeah, well, even you had persons who were deemed as gang members or whoever, and we had to pay tens of millions of dollars. Imagine what will happen if someone is a well-known member of society, he has thousands or hundreds of employees, and he is now released, and there's not enough evidence to turn the intelligence report into a charge. We'll probably have to pay hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars now to that person and his family. And I'm not saying that is going to happen in this situation with the Hadiths. I am not involved in that. I have no comment to make pertaining. There's an investigation. Let that be dealt with. But you are correct, and that is where, even when I was at National Security Advisor in 2011, I advised the Prime Minister when she asked. She said the minister and so forth recommended a SOE. I said that SOE should not be used as a crime fighting tool. There's going to be a price to pay. So said, so done. Because what the SOE is, the SOE is an excuse that an avenue used by law enforcement because of their failure to do their job. You are given enough powers. You have 7,500 officers, you have 1,700 police vehicles, you have 100 stations, you have hundreds of millions in technology systems that we used properly in 2018 to 2021 that put an end to kidnapping, home invasion, extortion, got a 5-minute response, caused public confidence to be 59%. It caused the highest reduction in murders in 20 years in that last year, August 2020 to August 2021, without a state of emergency that allows you just to arrest everybody you feel will commit a crime. So it shows that you can very well reduce crime without the SOE. When a commissioner calls and pleads to our government for SOEs, because he's basically stating, all of the officers you give me, all of the powers, all of the tools, all of the technology are not good enough to know what to do to peg back the criminals. So I need a SOE. I need to have something to infringe on the rights of citizens. When you move to a no protest zone, it's the same thing. The no protest zone is the height of incompetence, I will say, by a commissioner. Because you're telling me if 10 little old ladies decide to go opposite the Ministry of Finance, that could be a threat to national security. But you have 7,500 officers at your command, and you're telling me that you need to have a no protest zone to prevent people from going there. If it is that you realize it's a threat and persons have weapons or so forth, you can do it with the amount of police stations in and around those areas. You can have a response in 2 minutes. But to have a no protest zone is an acceptance by the commissioner. I am stating to the country and to the Prime Minister, I don't think I am good enough to be able to secure the DPP's office and the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Diplomatic Center. So I need to infringe on the rights of citizens to protest in specific areas. I am asking the Prime Minister, I need a state of emergency because I am not good enough to be able to do what is required to reduce crime without that extra power to take away the rights of citizens. And the PDO is one where you're basically stating we do not have the capability to turn intelligence into evidence to lay charges. Because if you could lay charges on the persons, you don't need a PDO. The PDO is one where we have intelligence on these people. We believe that something is being done, but we don't have enough intelligence to turn it into evidence so that a charge can be laid. So in the absence of charging the people, let us now just lock them up without enough evidence. That again is an admission of failure by the intelligence units to do their job. And my take on it is that is why we formed the National Operations Center. It was $500 million. And unfortunately, the line minister, because his whole life is policing, if it is that France win the World Cup, he will say it's because they trying to be a good police service. He doesn't know. So he turned a National Operations Center that's supposed to be used for intelligence gathering, coordination, mobilization, sharing of information, joint operations, dealing with natural and man-made disasters, having different arms of ministries work there in case of any situation of health, education, floods, and so forth. He has turned that into a dispatch system for the police, which is what the E999 is for. So we have wasted in that $500 million. Because of that NOC is supposed to bring all the intelligence bodies of the Defense Force Intelligence, the SI, the SSA, the FIU, the Special Branch, to coordinate together to turn intelligence into evidence. It's not done. So in the absence of proper intelligence gathering, accumulation of the intelligence, we have now reached the point of having to form a PDO to arrest people because we don't have enough intelligence to turn it into evidence to lay charges.
Now, some argue that these powers are essential in the fight against organized crime, while others fear they set a precedent for limiting civil liberties. Where do you believe the appropriate balance lies?
Yeah, there must be a line. I recall there was a movie, The Siege, with Bruce Willis. You should take a look at it. It was a similar situation where there was a line. You have to draw the line towards the safety and security of the country to the fundamental rights of one citizen or two. And what the military did is that they decided to lock up every single Muslim, and they said it is on behalf of the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few or the one. And when you do that, it shows that you have now lost the war. You have now failed to do your job in intelligence gathering. And that is my point. As minister, I told the Prime Minister point blank, I do not need a state of emergency. And it worked. It was the highest reduction in violent crime, in serious crime, in 31 years. That was 2014. The data is there. And it was done without a state of emergency, without PDOs, without no protest zone. As Commissioner of Police, I told the Prime Minister, I don't need a state of emergency. My last year, from August 2020 to August 2021, there were less than 350 murders, which were less murders in my last year than the number of murders that you had for the whole of last year under state of emergency, which gives the state of emergency is the easiest thing to do. It's like you're playing a football game and you're playing 11 and we decide to put 25 players and say we won the game. So that was what the SOE, you don't need a SOE. What you need is high visibility, a rapid response. But in the last year, neither the minister or the commissioner, they have come up with one new unit, system, program, technology, policy to reduce crime. That is why they have been forced to turn to the state of emergency. So when it is people say, well, it is you have to look at the greater good. The greater good could take place without having to infringe on the rights of citizens. Granted, I'm stating that I agree with the Prime Minister in this situation. She needs to have a state of emergency because of the failure of the minister and the commissioner to come up with anything new in the last year. So the only thing that they've come up with is a state of emergency. So as much as people say, well, it is for the greater good can very well take place without trying to infringe on the rights of citizens through a state of emergency, through a preventive detention order, and through no protest zones.
Mr. Griffith, in the 35 seconds that we have remaining, could you tell us if and when you think a PDO would be useful?
Oh, definitely. If immediately there's a clear and present danger, and we know emphatically that this person can be a threat to national security, but we are now accumulating the intelligence to lay a charge, that is where you get the cushion. That's where the benefit of the PDO lies. If it is that you're just going to incarcerate the person for 3 months and then they're going to be released, and it means that you form that PDO without knowing fully well that there's a clear and present danger, and there was not a shadow of a doubt that that person had broken the law. So there is a value of the PDO. What we saw in 2011 is dozens of persons being arrested, incarcerated through the PDO without enough evidence, and we paid the price. I am hoping that anytime this is done, there must be such binding, strong intelligence that we know eventually there's going to be a charge laid. And then you could lay the PDO, because now you're taking a preemptive strike to defend the country. That is the only reason. If you just do it just based on a woman fancy, based on intelligence, and come down the road, you don't have enough evidence to lay charges, the taxpayers are going to pay the price.
Mr. Griffith, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Tobago Updates, always with your insightful views and opinions here as we discuss matters of national security here on the island of Tobago and Trinidad by extension. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Viewers, stay right here. We'll be right back after the break. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339,
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624 333.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
Coming up, hot plates, cold drinks, and chill vibes were the order of the month in Antigua and Barbuda. Top chefs, tasty menus, influencers, and foodies. The boxes were ticked, kitchens buzzing, and grills fired up. It's the one and only Antigua and Barbuda Culinary Month with Caribbean Passport TV on this station.
Stay tuned for what's coming next.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven.
Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. Here now, talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I popped the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread, boom, hops, boom, coconut tart, boom, jam tart, and boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock, we only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu day one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. We're shifting the conversation this morning to protecting our women and girls. Joining us virtually this morning is Onika Mas, domestic violence advocate and the founder and CEO of Women of Substance. Good morning and welcome to you, Ms. Mas.
How are you this morning?
Good morning. Now, we're here this morning because of the tragic incident that occurred yesterday. And once again, this has left many people asking how something so tragic could happen. From your perspective, what does this incident tell us about the current state of violence against women in Trinidad and Tobago?
Thank you for that question. It tells us that the situation is way beyond what we desire as a country, as a nation, right? It tells us that we are in crisis, yeah, because it saddens us when there is a murder, a DV-related murder, and we must understand that we ought not to be a society that is reactive. Yeah, so the conversations must not only take place when there is a murder. The conversations need to be continuous.
Ms. Maz, that's an interesting perspective, because often even among women's groups and organizations like yours, there's by and large silence until something goes wrong or something that we know about goes wrong. You very rare hear these discussions taking place in the public domain when everything seems to be going well. What do you suppose is the reason that we're silent until something goes wrong?
Well, I beg to differ on that. I won't agree with you because we are not silent. We are always, at least I could speak for my organization, our organization, Women of Substance. We are continuously talking and advocating. We go into schools. We have programs in the schools in Tobago and a few schools in Trinidad. We continue the conversation. We continue the conversation in public spaces, in organizations. We've reached out and held sensitization sessions in different organizations throughout Tobago. For example, we did sessions in a session in Republic Bank, we did TSTT, we did FTB, right? Just to name a few. So it may not be on television highlighted, Women of Substance, DV session, but we are having the conversations because we understand that this is something that happens all the time, and it is necessary to continue the conversation. The conversation has to be 24/7, 365. I keep saying, we cannot only have these conversations when there's a murder or during the 16 days of activism in November or Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October. It has to be continuous. So we are not silent. Yeah?
We're not going to go back and forth, right? You said your piece, but there's another question that arises. Have the conversations been having the impact that we would like to see in the society? The conversations you claim are ongoing, but we're still seeing high numbers of domestic violence related activities in the society. Have these conversations been having the level of impact that we would want?
Well, I would think that the impact that we would want would be a society that is free in its entirety from violence. But what we need to understand is that Women of Substance alone can't do it. We must have collaborative efforts. We must be able to partner with stakeholders. We must be able to join forces with the communities, with the government, with different stakeholders. And the reality of the situation is that these conversations happen when or arise when there's a murder, for example, that murder yesterday. So for the next couple of days, the conversations would be at the tip of people's tongues. What happens next? Are people serious about collaborating and fixing the problem? We cannot do it alone. And it takes more than, just doing the education. It is a continuous process, and I keep saying that it's important first to understand the need to have safe spaces for our men so that they could talk about what is happening with them. They could talk about issues that they are facing. If we notice there is a rise in suicidal rates amongst men, why is this? Men are very silent because we live in a society where we expect that our men man up and be strong and not talk about the issues that they are faced with. So we have a lot of men that are hurting. We have a lot of men that don't know how to say, listen, I am struggling, I need help. And it is okay. It is okay to say, I am struggling, I need help. It is okay. So we have to come to that place where we can sit and have a conversation. The police, the policymakers, the community leaders, government, and different stakeholders, we must have that conversation as to where do we go from here? What do we do? Because we want to create that impact. We may not be able to have a society that is completely, totally free from violence, but how can we see a decrease in these murders because we, whatever strategies we are employing, it's helping.
Now, Ms. Maz, you mentioned something that I was going to ask in the next question. So it's a great segue because we always talk about protecting women and girls, but it also means we need to engage our men, as you rightfully said. But in terms of engaging our men as it relates to protecting our women and girls, what conversation should we really be having with our men? I know you mentioned that they are hurting and they need spaces where they need to have an outlet. But what conversation should we start having with them to ensure that we have a cohesive society where our men also understand how their intentions actually impact our women and how we can actually work together?
Okay, so we need our men to know the importance of being present. Our men need to be present. Our men need to understand who they are in the home. Our men need to understand that their presence must be felt. Their men need to take up their respectful places in the home, and we understand that there are many factors, contributory factors to men being absent, but we want men to take up their respective roles in the home, because violence is not something that happens overnight. Abuse is not something that happens overnight, right? We have a lot of angry young men, a lot of angry males, right? So we've seen it, right? The absence of the father in the home. Our young men, who are our young men, are gonna look at us mentors. I say it all the time. I am a single mother. I cannot be a father. I cannot be mother and father. During Father's Day, you hear a lot of women and see a lot of women saying to other women, Happy Father's Day, thank you for being mother and father. A woman cannot be mother and father. A man has his role to play in the home. So we need our men to understand, hey, you need to do what you're supposed to do. Know what you're supposed to do and do it. Play your respective role in the home so that we have our fathers as mentors, so that our young men, you could impart wisdom, you could impart knowledge onto our young men, who are the future generation.
Ms. Maz, unfortunately, that's all the time we have this morning, but we certainly want to thank you for joining and for sharing this perspective with us, hoping that your continued work, that of your organization, will lend itself to someday seeing a significant reduction of violence in our society. Thank you again for sharing with us.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, ma'am.
It was
my pleasure. Okay, have a great day. God bless you all.
Same to you. Thanks. Viewers, we take a short break. When we come back, we ask and we answer, is there not a cause? We're talking the response to the earthquake in Venezuela. Stay with us and we'll be right back. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
From the reef to the road. From the reef to the road. From the reef to the road. Tobago calling. Sweet vibe, sweet wine, everybody falling. We bring the culture straight to you. Tobago updates, we keeping it true. Oh gosh. Tobago updates. On the screen, there we go. You're home for October, carnival show. From the big stage shine to the road line. We bring Tobago to the world in real time. Tobago updates. Tobago updates. Carnival 2026. We set the pace, 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 pace. Wave your flag, anywhere you're there, anywhere. Island love, trimming all around you. Yeah. Picking long on for the rhythm start. Tobago updates, Caribbean art, Caribbean art,
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
My name is Carpage. I'm the head coach of St. Jago High School boys track and field team.
My name is Joseph Small. I am the head coach of the girls female program. Preparing an athlete is not just running on the track. You have the mental aspect, you have the nutrition aspect, and you have the support and the motivation. So there's a lot of factors that we have to look into, and we have to try to see how best we can deal with them as best as possible.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Okay. 325, 326, 327, 328, 329.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka, in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624 33.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
And the son in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Thank you for staying with us, viewers. As we said before the break, we're talking about response to the earthquake in Venezuela just recently. I'm certain that by now all of you would have heard of it at some point or the other, in some way or the other. And we're talking this morning about the response in terms of rendering aid to our brothers and sisters just across the water. We're talking virtually with Miss Avanel Hector, founder and team leader of ITNAC. Is there not a cause? Good morning, Miss Joseph, and welcome.
Good morning, sir, and thank you so very much for the opportunity. And good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Program this morning. All my Tobago people, Hector and Joseph is Bago. So that's where my blood is. That's my origin. Yeah, I be Tobago girl. Via Kumana, so my family came from Tobago, right? And they came through Kumana, but I'm Tobago. Hector from Monk St. George and Joseph from Plymouth side. Okay, right. So I'm married. Good. So
nice. You have established your authenticity.
Madam, I put that straight,
Is there not a cause? Certainly, yes. ITNAC is not a strange organization to Trinidad and Tobago. So let's get into the actual response for Venezuela and how you're approaching it.
Okay, so it's coincidence or coincidence that Onika Mars was on before. So we have done tremendous amount of work in partnership with Onika's organization, Women of Substance. She was our main execution partner during COVID and other projects. Now, up till last night, we were speaking because the earthquake in Venezuela came at a time when we are actively setting up something called FOBs, Forward Operations Base, because we are in the hurricane season, June the 1st to November the 30th, and we wanted to be forward planning. It's a military concept, Forward Operations Base, pre-positioning of resources. So we started sending goods up the islands. We have in Jamaica, we have in Grenada, we have in St. Vincent, and we have to ship out next week to Dominica, Antigua, and St. Lucia. So we've been saying, listen, this year we are going to be ahead of the game. Should a hurricane strike the islands, we will have things on some islands which we can move and then, of course, mobilize. This earthquake wasn't some. I know people would say that the seismologists and whoever else would have been predicting and whatever, but the fact is that for the average lay person, the earthquake did catch us a bit off guard. So while we are planning for the hurricane season and to be ahead of the game, this has come. So we've had to pivot. And we thank God for the reputation that we have had for the last 24 years in terms of being first responders, especially in the region. We try to be in the ground within 72 hours. Venezuela is a little bit slower in terms of our physical presence because there's a lot of different things to navigate, the geopolitics and all of that. We have our first set of stuff going out today. So because of our reputation, before we even begin to advertise, once a disaster happens, we get those calls. What is ITNAC doing from the diehards? And then some people would say, is ITNAC doing anything? We will always be doing, by the grace of God and the help of our partners. We are not funded by any government agency. It is every time a disaster happens, which comes in the midst of us meeting people day-to-day needs, housing, counseling, working with other domestic violence agencies, doing a lot of different things. Then there are these disasters that take our attention. So we are putting together stuff. We sent it out. It should be leaving from the Cedros side today to go into Venezuela. Then on the 18th, we have another target to hit 10 tons of aid. So it's ongoing, and people have been responding. We need a Tobago contact. So if there's a business person here, normally we deal with oh my God, my friends on government road. Jesus. Bisbala Bong. So we're gonna have to contact them. We go a little bit slow out the box because, as I said, we had certain geopolitical stuff that we wouldn't normally have to deal with when a disaster happens. So we've gotten that to some extent. There are some variables that we won't really know until we touch down in Venezuela. But for the most part, we've secured our contacts because what we are known for and what we, for want of a better word, pride ourselves in is that we don't just collect aid, like a whole set of stuff and just put it in a pool and then whosoever gets it, get it. We go the last mile in that we try our best to see that it gets to the actual persons or broken down into smaller subsets of what we send to partners who we can hold responsible, a church, a sport group, a team, a community group, and then they can say, listen, you all sent 100 cases of water to our group. We gave 5 to this family, 5 to family, and then we keep that because a lot of times when people just give into a pool, there's no accountability. You don't know where it is.
We understand. Here in Tobago, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency has also put out advertisements inviting people to contribute and in they are doing some work in terms of gathering stuff here in Tobago. Have you had any contact with TEMA in your efforts in terms of gathering stuff from Tobago?
No, not as yet. We don't always work with the big agencies because most of the times, to be honest, and I'm not a politically correct person, so I find out a lot of times the big agencies send to seem like if you're gonna be a baller to them, like they know what they're doing. You don't really know what you're doing. We know what we're doing. So I'm a bit jaded in terms of reaching out to thing. I probably shouldn't say this. I'll probably take a beat into it. But I probably should reach out to TEMA, and see what they have. The idea is really not to try to reinvent the wheel, not to replicate what other people are doing, but then also there are people who so like if there's a disaster happening next, for example, there's some people who have a preferred way of contributing. Some people would say, let's just say in Trinidad, they want to go with Living Waters, or they want to give the lands, or they want to give ITNAC, or they want to go to the ODPM, or in Tobago it might be to ITNAC. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in ITNAC is in Tobago is always very active. We do a lot of partnering together, whether it's they're taking stuff for us, we taking stuff for them. So people might be part of a local church and say, listen, I prefer to go with this particular denomination because they are doing, I prefer to go through the state or the House of Assembly. So certainly, we are always open to collaboration because what we are doing with the FOBs, the Forward Operations Base, it is actually a regional movement called Response Caribbean, where we are bringing as many NGOs as possible together so that we can effectively respond in terms of, so this, what we are doing, ITNAC, we are just part of this body that we have led the charge. It's like a grassroots CARICOM, so to speak. So there are NGOs from Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, just about all over the Caribbean, and we're coming together to see how we can really respond better when there's a disaster in our region. And of course, Venezuela is literally next door. We saw what happened with the beach in South because of the earthquake in things. So yes, we will want to consider TEMA as an option if that's a possibility. I don't know. These organizations have their guidelines, how they operate and all that stuff.
Now, there are individuals who are looking on right now in this present moment who may be willing to contribute. Can you share with the viewers looking on some of the items that are essential for contribution, especially given the circumstance in Venezuela at this point in time?
Well, what we have focused on immediately, because that's what's going in these next couple of days, have been blankets, because a lot of people are on the streets, they have nowhere to live. Blankets, crackers, tuna that's flavored, you pull the ring, Vienna sausages, toiletries, wipes and those types of things that people can roll out within quick time. Warm clothes as well, sweaters, because a lot of people, and then we're going into the next phase. We have to look at, we have a delegation that's going to be going in around the 18th or the 20th. I hope to be a part of that. Hope to go before that and also be a part, where we'll be meeting the people after they've already, by then, I guess, search and rescue, whatever, to look at how we can help them, like identify communities, like what we've done in Jamaica, because as I said, it now goes the last mile. The average aid agency has already moved on from Jamaica, but we are in Jamaica still doing work. So when we go on to that thing, we are going to seek to find out what else is needed for going forward, building supply to people own their own homes, food if there's farmers. So we take the normal thing, clothes, shoes, linens, food, water, which will go on that big boat because water is very heavy to move. So we are going through into different phases of this response. It's a little bit ticklish with buildings still shaky and everything else. It's not like a hurricane. A hurricane passes and then you could move in. Hurricane earthquake is different. You have aftershocks. You have a lot of different things. So we're just really seeking the Lord for wisdom.
In the 35 seconds that we have remaining, Ms. Joseph, tell us how we can contact ITNAC if we want to contribute.
Okay, 394-2042, 394-2042, or 735-HOPE. 735-HOPE. We bank with First Citizens Bank, we bank with Republic Bank, and all of the accounts are in the name. Is there not a cause? And I don't know if we will be allowed to submit to later today for your publication broadcast the Tobago contact point, so that persons in Tobago can give us. They have given. I mean, Tobago has always responded. Our friend, oh gosh, his name just slipped me. From Tobago Glass, he would bring down truckloads of stuff from all the different disasters over the years. So we have a rich partnership with Tobago, and we hope to continue with that partnership.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hector,
Thanks for the opportunity.
not only for sharing with us, but for all the work you do on behalf of those who are in need. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Now, viewers, we are at the end of the Tobago Updates morning show, but the programming on Tobago Updates is not finished.
You know we have one more thing to do before the day is up.
Yes, we do. We definitely do. We are sending out belated birthday greetings to our Chief Secretary, Mr. Fali Chavez Augustine. Happy belated birthday to you.
How did that slip by yesterday? We do not know. He celebrated his birthday yesterday. We hope you had a fantastic day, and we hope you have a beautiful new year.
Viewers, up next we have GMT. Remember to stay right here and share the live, share the live, share the live.
As a private citizen, I often wondered what services the public service provides, and how can I benefit, how can my family benefit, what is available for us to use. So I think today is a good day where products and services can be displayed, there's interaction with citizens, ministries and departments across the government are providing and demonstrating what they do and how they could better the lives of our people. So the greatest value add is to see how we can better the lives of our citizens. So I want to say thank you for Tobago coming and supporting and really representing. I think you'll have the best room in the house, as they say. But people can really see what the public service has to offer. We're speaking about products, services, and of course the friendly public servant. Today is a day to commemorate their work, their hard work, their patriotism, and we celebrate today together with many nations across the world.
Patrons who stopped by the Tobago House of Assembly's Public Service Week Expo
also shared their experience.
I learned so many things that I didn't know before about the island. I learned that there are two villages that have both beach and waterfall, Castara and Palatuvier, so I will not forget that. And I also learned about the Tobago Heritage Festival, so it was really, really informative.
I learned a lot of things that I never knew about that you all offer in the Tobago House of Assembly, especially the Festival Commission Limited. It was very, very knowledgeable.
I get to learn about historical and cultural stuff in Tobago, and I haven't been to Tobago since I was about 10 years old, so I find it's very informative.
Besides being informative, I like the fact that you all bring out, something that represents Tobago itself. It was really, really nice.
We learned about Tobago Carnival, right? Carnival would have answered most of the questions, but we also learned about what we're not supposed to do in the rainforest, right? Which is cut down any trees, kill any wildlife, or build anything that wasn't there before.
It was very informative, probably more than we actually expected. It was really, really nice.
I was taken aback by the amount of things being displayed. I also found myself in a moment of reflection where I said to myself, I should have taken my history a bit more serious. And as I'm here today, I'm urging more young people in this nation to come and appreciate what we have here, because it's a lot. It's like gold.
Take one for the team.
This morning we spoke about gut health and moving from chaos to calm. How do we achieve optimal gut health in 90 days or less? Now we saw this a very, very fitting workshop to have at this time, because we know that if we look at our local space, the Tobago space, we have an issue with non-communicable diseases that are rampant, they're on the rise, and many people don't realize that the genesis of these issues is digestive health. So when we fix digestive health, then we're able to affect every other organ system within the body. So fix digestion first, and you realize that your body serves you and it gives you so many things for years to come.
I attended this workshop both as a spectator to learn the valuable information that Miss Melissa had to share, but also to see how our department could collaborate with this department to now get this information across to the wider Tobago population. There's a nerve that runs from the brain straight down to the lungs, the heart, the gut, and this nerve is called the vagus nerve. This nerve is so important because the information in the gut goes to the brain, where we produce serotonin 90 to 95% in the gut. So people think we have to, focus on antidepressants and these things, but no, sometimes we could fix our mental health by focusing on the foods that we eat. The information that the gut sends to the brain affects how we feel, affects how we interpret information, affects how we relate to people, and you could see that when you are hungry.
It's interesting. You're not going to come back again and find out more things about your body.
At this stage in life, we need to pay attention to our diet, what we eat, determine our health in the future.
Start with digestive health. If you're having any signs, symptoms, or diagnosis, we always look at the 3 roots: digestion, inflammation, and genetics. Once we can target those 3 roots, any sign, symptom, or diagnosis can change its expression, and we'll just be a healthier island as a result.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here at Tobago Updates. Now, I know for most of you parents, this morning is a very special morning for you all in regards to the SCA exam results. And I know for some parents, they can't even eat a breakfast this morning. All they could do is drink some bush tea because of the nerves. But, you know, I'm going to wish everyone the best. No matter what the results are, you can thrive anywhere in life. Now, this morning, I am so pleased to be your host. Once again, I am Luke James Strim. But before we get into the very important conversations this morning, I have to give you the news in 90 seconds. Opposition Senator Melanie Roberts-Rajman is mourning the loss of her cousin Nisha Roberts, who was murdered yesterday inside her own home. Breaking her silence in an emotional public statement, Senator Rajman described Nisha as good, pleasant, and deeply decent woman who didn't deserve to die like that. Expressing profound grief, the senator highlighted the vulnerability of women to violent crime, questioning what proactive measures must be taken to ensure greater protection for women and teaching men better self-control. In security updates, the Tobago Division hosted an employee appreciation ceremony at the Scarborough Police Station as part of its Health and Fitness Fortnight initiative. 17 officers were formally recognized for their outstanding dedication, commitment, and exemplary service. Senior Superintendent Ronald Kerr delivered the feature address commending the recipients for maintaining a high standard of professionalism. Finally, the Division of Youth Empowerment and Sport has officially opened applications for the Youth Development Fund. The initiative provides crucial financial assistance to eligible Tobagonian students aged 16 to 35 who are pursuing higher education outside of Tobago. To qualify for the academic grant, applicants must provide proof of residency, an official enrollment or acceptance letter from an accredited institution, and maintain a grade point average of 3.0 or above. Applications can be submitted online or at the division's office on Montessori Drive. Tune in for the full newscast at 6:30 p.m. this afternoon. All right, viewers, so to start our conversations, we continue to monitor what's happening in Venezuela in regards to the two earthquakes. And joining us in studio today is none other than Mr. Alan Stewart. Now, Mr. Stewart, I think the whole of Tobago knows who you are and what you're about. But for those who don't know, Mr. Stewart is the director at TIMA. A pleasant morning to you, Mr. Stewart, and how are you doing?
I am doing well. I'm thanking God for this day. It's a beautiful day in the Republic, and we are thankful for it.
Lovely. Thank you once again for deciding to have a conversation with us this morning. So, Mr. Stewart, I just want you to talk to us about the current status of Venezuela at the moment.
You know, it's very heartbreaking that our neighbors has experienced something on the 24th of June, which, as I reminisce, remind me of our situation in 1997, the 97 earthquakes. In 40 seconds, 7 major districts across the country of Venezuela produced over 20 million tons of debris, shattering homes, villages, loss of life that is now climbing into double figures in terms of the thousands. So thousands of lives were lost, and the injuries continue to mount. Over more than 6,000 persons are reported based on the reports coming out of OCHA, with the UN reports indicate the devastation that these people are being met with as a result of the 7.2 and the 7.5, which is dubbed as the duplex. However, we understanding this event, some of us better than some of our young people, I am here to express and to call on the benignity, the expression of magnanimity at this time, where we rise to the occasion and help our brothers and sisters, and it gives birth to the drive that we dub as Operation Duplet. In response to it, we are having this relief drive to ensure that we play our part in the relief effort and the building of lives, the recovery effort, which we know is going to be a very hard and upward climb for the people. It's important that our citizens out there, you citizens out there, understand the levels of devastation. And it's important for you to understand that people today, up to last night, slept in the streets and in the parks under tents, and these tents are exposed to the elements, and it's very difficult in terms of the management of the debris, the amount of debris, the uncertainty as it relates to loved ones that are trapped, and the trauma that they are going through, even the rolling. I remember in 1997, the rolling of a heavy vehicle on the roadway. They have experienced more than 600 tremors as aftershocks coming out of this event, and it's important that we rise to the occasion. As I said before, that our magnanimity will be more or less judged by how we express our magnanimity, will be judged as to how we deal with our levels of benignity to these people and bring love and care to those persons. And I think every conscious-minded person this morning will want to make that expression felt, and therefore that's what the relief drive is trying to attain.
Understood, Mr. Stewart, because, for anybody who would have had to, navigate life after that tragedy we ourselves face in Tobago, these are situations that you really don't understand the magnitude of it until you really experience that type of, tragedy. And it makes me question now in regards to TEMA, how are you all planning to work with local, regional or international partners to ensure that, this relief really reaches to those who need it most? Because we know that resources are very important at this time. Can you walk me through that?
Yeah, I think that is a very interesting and very important question, in the sense that accountability in all that we do in public life is very, very important, transparency, and therefore we are very pleased to associate ourselves with the call and the coordinating unit, which is the United Nations themselves, through OCHA, which is dealing with this humanitarian effort on the ground. And therefore, our marching orders came through the pronouncement, although we got it through the media, that, TEMA has been asked to coordinate on Tobago's behalf through the Prime Minister's statement. And therefore, we rise to the cause. We understand. I listened to ITNA a while ago, and I had the privilege of meeting the president of that organization just a few weeks ago while we were in Trinidad, early last month. Attended the Trinidad and Tobago risk management conference. So we will be willing to work with these persons, that willingness is there. We have had a very wonderful experience in the past over all the events such as these, working with the NGO that is set up through the Adventists. We have worked with these people over the years, and they have delivered private sector, public sector, banks. They have come to our aid, and we have had that rich relationship. And I think the reason why the confidence in TEMA has been built and sustained is the degree at which we undertake these responsibilities. She spoke about the last mile of all, the president spoke about the last mile of when I talk about the president, I'm talking about ITNAC. And getting into that is very important, and how we collect these items, how we package these items, how we route these items. We do it with the thought of the last mile of the way, that when it gets to the member country, it allows for ease of distribution by the way in which you package these things and the way in which you have them labeled, the manifests that you send along with it, so it's easy to sort through whatever customs or regulatory body that they are going through. It will make an ease and allow them to reach to the last end of the last mile as quickly as possible.
Understood, Mr. Stewart. And, you know, I have to ask this question because for anyone who was paying attention to our segment before, the interviewee was explaining to us that specific items are needed to be donated. It sounds as though, you know, they are looking for items that really reflect the realities that's happening in Venezuela. So at this moment, I want to ask you to, you know, appealing to the public, what do you think they can come together to donate at this current moment? Because we don't want it to be a case that people are bringing stuff and the stuff aren't needed. So what specific items do you think we can come together and donate to the people in Venezuela, granted that, you know, they are trying to recover from an earthquake?
Yeah, one of the things that I often guide persons who wish to contribute is to respect the dignity of humanity. In your way of benevolence, your expressions of it, and therefore that must be respected. So if I were to add one word, I will repeat it so it add the sentence. It will be no old clothes, no used clothes, no clothes that you just want to get rid of and you just want to palm it off on somebody. You have to respect people in a particular manner. And however, canned foods are acceptable at this time. The list, as you can see, it deals with 4 major categories. So you're looking at medical supplies, hygiene items, sleeping apparatus, and food items that will help. So let us look at the over-the-counter items that you can provide. There are people that will be nursing pains at this time, and therefore those overcome balms, things like that will work well. Then there is a hygiene issue. If people are sleeping in the park, it's the recipe for disease outbreak as well. And therefore, for them to ablush themselves properly, you will want to afford them hygiene kits. You have mothers that have young babes and young children. So you have to, even the garbage bags are essentials to them at this time. Towels, mattresses that will allow them, sleeping mats, things like that will help going forward. For the rescue workers, I know the experience from 2004 and 2005 and what happened to us. Once you're working with debris, a workman's gloves can only last you a matter of days. So right now, these gloves that they are using, in about 3 days' time, 72 hours, they are showing signs of worn. So those are the type of things that we will want. They have gone through almost a week of this event, and right now they will be suffering with aches and pains, straining themselves in those few frantic hours that you try to lift debris and things like that. These are the things that are needed. Battery, lights. Light becomes a very important element because there are people there that will not leave that site until they could bring some level of closure to their loved one, either a recovery of a body or the rescue. Up to last night, we saw that there was a rescue effort made from persons who have a serious resilience, and that is demonstrated, and we need to correlate in a particular way. We need to support it with the necessaries that would allow them through this relief effort. This drive will bring some comfort to them and relieve the pain that they are feeling currently as they march towards recovery.
Understood, Mr. Stewart. And looking ahead, looking in the future, do you see TEMA probably doing this as a one-time thing, or it can be something that continues if the need comes?
You know, you remind me of a paper that I did concerning pre-disaster relief efforts, which I think is something that the region should adopt, where we collect things on an annual basis, because, as I said, you know, every single year, from my experience over maybe the past 29 years or so, I have seen one island in the Caribbean suffer as a result of an event. And therefore, when you look at the relief package, it's always comprised of these major things. And what we can do is to do that. So it's a good recommendation. I endorse it. It's something that we'll take into consideration, where we collect items, and at this period of time of the year, the distributions always come with some event. Somebody needs something somewhere around the Caribbean. Although Venezuela is not part of the CARICOM, being our close neighbor, I think, and understanding the merits and the very nature of the Prime Minister, she indicated that Trinidad and Tobago is here to help them, and we have many of their citizens that sometimes work and toil among us. Some of them are our neighbors, and it's important for them it's important for not them only, for us to create that vehicle, to create that opportunity where they can help their loved ones, even though they are here on the island of Tobago. So we are creating that avenue. Maybe somebody, my friend, I've been trying to get on to her, who talks the Spanish, to be able to communicate this to them, that all this is set up, and therefore Tobagonians just need to rise to the occasion and help in this day that that help is needed from a neighbor.
I agree, Mr. Stewart. And separate and apart from the physical items that can be donated, for those who may be unable to, donate physical items, are there any ways they can, aid with this humanitarian support, whether it's probably a bank transfer or any other way they can support you all at this current moment?
Certainly. There is an account that is set up by the government through FCB. I don't have the privilege of having the account number here with me, but I know through our public relations department, I am quite certain that is out there. And so seek it out. And there are persons who take that part, which is very, very instrumental. I know there are some bodies on the ground, like GEM, company that we came across, an NGO, a global body. That mission indicated that it has reached to a stage that some of the aid that they are bringing, their preference is to purchase it in Venezuela itself. And there are reasons. When I spoke about the 7 districts that has been destroyed, we have to realize that there is the rest of the island, and there is an economy. And it's a really awkward situation when you have a disaster in your country and the rest of the country is going about its merry way. But the depth of this event and the devastation, it plays out on the country itself. And therefore, the economy needs to keep moving. And therefore, even when we are drowned in it with aid, physical things, it's also understandable that finance also help the economy to move, people, their livelihood, to be able to work, to keep things going. So funding is a very important part of that, and it's something that we really encourage. So I look out for those information in our releases that will give evidence as to the banking account and how the transaction can be done.
Okay, excellent. And winding down, I'm assuming that the main drop-off point for these items is
yes.
at Tema.
How can we close without saying that? Yeah, so it's important for you citizens to know that the drop-off point is at Tema from 8 to 4. Also, those of you who may have very huge items, they can be dropped off at the warehouse in Signal Hill. The preference is that we do it all at the Tobago Emergency Operations Center. So help us, because we have some artisan work that is being carried out at the relief center at this time. So we have worked out something with them. So I ask you all to make your donation between 8 and 4 at Bacalet Fairfield Complex at the Tema Emergency Operations Center.
Okay, great. And closing, what message would you like to send to the Venezuelans who may be watching this interview or who will ultimately benefit from this relief effort?
I want to hope and goodwill is create the magic, and our sympathies and our condolence goes out to them for their loss, for a loss in a nation that is on their knees at this stage. And I know that they have been through a lot. And I know the resilience of the Venezuelan. It has been demonstrated over and over. Their work ethics is well known. And therefore, I want to encourage them, and let them know that, as partners, as neighbors, we are here to support them in their time of crisis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stewart. I want to thank you for taking time out of your morning this morning to sit down and chat with us. The information, it was very, 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 clearing. And I think that, Tobago is always that island that operates on love and
That's
support
right.
and helping others.
Thing.
So I really hope that we come together as an island to really offer the support to these Venezuelans, because this is a tragic situation.
It's an opportunity for us to display that love. That is something that it's in our DNA.
It's in our DNA, it's in our history.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you once again for joining us. I hope you have a blessed and productive day, viewers. Don't run away as yet. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. But remember, you have a little small work to do for me, and that is to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
My name is Carpage. I'm the head coach of St. Jago High School boys track and field team.
My name is Joseph Small. I am the head coach of the girls female program. Preparing an athlete is not just running on the track. You have the mental aspect, you have the nutrition aspect, and you have the support and the motivation. So there's a lot of factors that we have to look into, and we have to try to see how best we can deal with them as best as possible.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
From the reef to the road. From the reef to the road. From the reef to the road. Tobago calling. Sweet vibes, sweet wine, everybody falling. We bring the culture straight to you. Tobago updates, we keeping it true. Oh gosh. Tobago updates. On the screen, here we go. You're home for October, can't even show. From the big station to the railroad line, we bring Tobago to the world in real time. Tobago updates. Tobago updates. Carnival 2026. We said the pace. Wave your flag. Anywhere you're there. Anywhere. Island love streaming all around you. Yeah. Big long on for the rhythm start. Tobago updates. Caribbean art. Caribbean art.
Nice.
If I have to call a supervisor one more time to sign off on a customer because their financials are in a mess, I will scream.
Hey, don't scream in a bank. That have lockup in it.
It's either they're not registered properly, or you know what? We could just forget about annual returns, right?
Compliance is a bad word to most of them. All your compliance out of here. But let me eat.
What is wrong with Trinbagonians? I mean, it has so much help they could get out there.
Well, you know, Trinis, we don't like to spend we money.
But you know what? Be comfortable with losing we money. That make it any financial
What people should do is call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wait, what? Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago Tax and Accounting Services. Yeah, they offer help from registering your business to filing your tax. My lunch is over.
Wait, tell me more.
No, go and scream in the bank. You go and scream in the bank.
No, Antoine, don't get one sooner.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven.
Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. Talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I popped the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread. Boom, hops. Boom, coconut tart. Boom, jam tart. And boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock, we only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu they one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
And we are back, viewers, and as we continue our conversations, joining us virtually on an audio call is Mr. Cloyd Williams, who is the president of the Maxi Taxi Drivers and Owners Associations, and we will be chatting about the recent meeting they would have had with Minister Zako. Mr. Williams, are you with us this morning?
Yes, I'm here live and direct.
Okay, thank you so much for taking time out this morning just to give us an update on everything that has been happening. Now, Mr. Williams, firstly, I want you to walk me through the content of the recent meeting that you all had. Is it a case where you all were able to, find common ground or come to a resolution? Talk to me about that.
Well, yes, in a sense, we had a meeting last Friday with Minister Zako. I think he's the Minister of Aviation and Transport. He was here in Tobago with his team, along with Secretary Pantin and the team. But I think the meeting was pretty cordial, should I say promising. The main issue that we discussed, it has to do with the transportation system in Tobago, and especially as it relates to the maxi taxi industry and the cruise ship industry also. You may or may not aware that we have a shortage of buses and transportation here in Tobago, especially at cruise ship arrival, because most of the time when the ship comes, we are short, we cannot provide adequate transport. And I think this is damaging to the economy of Tobago. And we have been talking about it for quite a number of years, and they are not addressing the issue, they are not addressing that shortage. You cannot have a destination that promotes tourism and you don't have ground transport. Ground transport is most indispensable. And so we ask that the minister or the government or the Tobago House of Assembly provide a leverage of transport, especially for the cruise ship. At least if we have at least 25 additional buses for the cruise arrival, that will help. We are saying grant us at least the 25 in principle, because there are people who are drivers who are ready to purchase a maxi, but they issue the red tape on having the maxis or having rights, and that's a very serious problem. Well, he said that due course or process must be followed, and we really accept that. But how long are we going to follow due process when things are not being moving on? The chief secretary said in his campaign trail that this will not happen. A cruise ship coming, and you don't have transport. So I'm hoping and praying and wishing that they address this issue. It's terrible, because you have, like in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you have over 368 calls. Barbados, Jamaica, and all these places. But here in Tobago, where we say Tobago is we have, it's a beautiful destination. You cannot have ground transport, and that was the main issue that we talk about. The solution, understand the plight of Tobago, the associations in Tobago, and they promise to address the matter. So now we have to continue to liaise with the minister, liaise with the ministry, liaise with the Tobago House of Assembly, Ms. Natasha Pantin, and the administrators like Ms. Frank, John, and so on, so that this season coming, it will be better. And even before you ask me the question, if that issue does not resolve, we will be in shaky waters, embarrassing situation. All right, and we cannot start a season with a shortage of transport when we have been talking about it over the years, and that's really it's a concern for us here in Tobago.
What I'm understanding from everything you would have just shared with us is that the main issue that you all are trying to navigate seems to be one of capacity. Would you be able to share with us what is the current, fleet capacity on the island of Tobago when it comes down to ground transportation, and what are you looking for in the future in terms of numbers increasing? Like exactly how many, buses you would like to see operating on the island?
All right. A good question. We have actually under around 80, 90 maxis in Tobago, and that is inadequate for a large ship. Okay, some of these maxis, most of them are contracted with the Tobago House of Assembly for school transport. All right, when you have a ship, you have to hustle the school children, and try to get back on the port for at least 8:30, where you can take the crews or the guests to different destinations, whether it be Bokori, from Charlottesville, Waterfall, and so on. And it's really a challenge, because these maxis, we normally have to do like school, cruise ship, the port, airport transport, island tour, group tours from around the world, from Tobago, and it's definitely inadequate. For example, that this year, I think we are going to start in November. We have 46 calls on paper. On one Saturday, that's in February, we have one ship that is going to bring over 5,000 passengers. Definitely, we cannot handle it. We can't. It's going to be embarrassing if we don't address that issue. After that meeting, I had a meeting with Miss Zorisha Hackett, and we talked about it. And one of the solution, maybe the short-term solution for that particular ship, is that we might have to bring buses from Trinidad. Now, it's legal on Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays, right? You can do your transfers and work within Trinidad and Tobago on these days, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the Maxi Taxi Act does not allow you to work on other working days, right? So, and I want us to address the issue. We must be proactive to the whole situation. We cannot wait till that time come and face that kind of embarrassment. All right. So we have to have more conversation, more meetings, and put something in place. And that ship is going to come on a Saturday when most of us have our religious commitment and so on, and which we have to respect according to the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. So, as I said before, we have to meet and discuss. Tobago promotes tourism. It's a beautiful destination, and we must plan. Tourism is one of the fastest growing industry in the world. You can talk about it. And the Caribbean, they plan for tourism. They plan for the ships. When you travel, you see hundreds of maxis park up there waiting for arrival. You don't have that in Tobago. You have to be by the gate and wondering who coming and what is going to happen. This time the ship is coming in, the people are coming off the ship, and it's really a problem. It's really frustrating. All right, and I hope you can understand exactly what I'm saying about this transport system here in Tobago.
Yes, Mr. Williams, I think you're very clear this morning, but another question I would like to ask. In the beginning, you would have shared with us that a common theme coming out of the recent meeting you all would have had is that, you know, we should adhere to due process and everything is a process. But if your memory serves you right, how long or how far back in time do you think that these maxi taxi drivers have been, complaining about the current status of the of the fleet capacity on the island of Tobago?
All right. We have been complaining for quite a while, maybe quite a number of years. All right. Administration come, administration go. We have been complaining. I met with the chief on this already. I met with all the chief secretaries and administrators of the Department of Tourism and so on. I sent a letter to Trinidad, to the ministers of transport and so on. So it's quite a while. I can't even count the years, maybe more than 10 years, 15 years and so on. And we have been complaining and making requests. But what I want is that they must put a sustainable plan, right? Or maybe a sustainable. The point is, let us say you have 42 calls for the year. You will buy a maxi for, let's say, 600,000-700,000, and that's the cost of a maxi. What happened after the cruise ship? It's not sustainable. Compared to Grenada, Barbados, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and so on, that have tourism around the year. Well, Tobago is just seasonal, just for 4 months. So you cannot just buy a maxi for that alone. So you have to diversify. Look into other means of making it. And secondly, I think that the marketing strategy for Tobago is very poor. I say it with no apology, right? If you market properly, you get results. Barbados, Grenada, they market tourism. We're not doing that. And I mentioned that to Ms. Sackett, right? And she, so that we must market, we must have an aggressive marketing strategy, and where we can market tourism. We have a lot to offer. We have a lot to offer, and we are doing, what can we do? So I would like to see they put a team in place that markets cruise ship arrival. You have a desk where you connect with the world, you connect with the Caribbean, you find out what they are doing, why they are so successful. Small island, they doesn't have much, what we have here. So let us put a team. I'm willing to work along with the team or whoever they call, and let us see what can happen so that Tobago can depend on tourism. We can live off of tourism. Our GDP will increase, will improve, right? Because we have the boatmen, we have the handicraftmen, we have the people who are selling Benny balls, and, we have the tour guides, and we have qualified people who can handle that industry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Williams. And as we wrap up, I just want to ask you, what would you like to look forward to in the future in terms of remedy? Because I understand that, you are looking for a solution that it's a bit more present and a bit more in the now, rather than, like you said, adhering to due process. What do you look forward to for the next steps?
Well, I would have mentioned a few to you. I would like to meet again with the Secretary for Tourism, or my team, or the providers in Tobago. Let us meet, treat, or discuss the matter, see where we go from here. Not only transport there, but some of the areas that need to develop. I mean, the port, accommodation, make it more friendly, more attractive. But I think they are doing pretty okay in terms of the culture, or we are doing pretty okay in terms of the culture, the dancers, the bamboo dancers, and Moko Jumbi, and so we are doing very good with that. But so I look forward for us to meet and treat and discuss and see where we go from here, because it doesn't make sense. Also, this may be a little controversial. You cannot market tourism and you have a broken transport link, because you market, you bring the people and you don't have transport. What sense? So I mean, there must be a coming together, a holistic planning. So at least Tobago can showcase around the world. We'll be happy. Everybody will be happy, and things will work out nicely.
All right, Mr. Williams, so I just want to thank you for taking time out this morning to have a conversation with us. We will be monitoring this situation in the hopes that, you all find some sort of immediate relief. I just want to thank you once again, and I hope you have a blessed and productive day this morning.
Thank you very much, and all the best to you and your channel. God bless.
Thank you. All right, viewers, so that's it. I think we've reached the end of all of very important conversations this morning. I just want to thank you so much for just taking that little time out of your morning to sit down and catch a vibe with us here on Tobago Updates. Thank you for always choosing us to start your morning on the right note. Now, tomorrow, Olenga see me because it's most likely going to be Natalie, so we look forward to that. Just tune in. And as we wrap up, I just have one more favor to ask of you, and that is to share the live.